back, and thank you for staying tuned to Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. Right about now, it is the interview segment, and we're about to have a particular very, very interesting topic that there's one time that I said that it has been going on, and I'm wondering why we have series of cases, and sometimes there's particular people that are meant to investigate these particular types of crimes, and we want to find out about them and see how people can get to know about what am I talking about. Fraud investigation. And today with me I have Kehinde Aladeton, and he is a fraud investigator. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you, presenter. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. So now let's start with telling people, let us know what fraud investigation is. What is fraud investigation?
Maybe we should start with what is fraud.
Okay, let's start with what's fraud.
Yeah, fraud is basically, manipulation of record, falsification of record,
Yeah, of course.
concealment of information, that are relevant for decision-taking purposes,
Yeah.
but which are concealed, or giving out information which are falsehood.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is fraud in itself. So investigation, if we now say fraud investigation, we are looking at processes to find out what has gone wrong. Okay, if there is a fraud in an organization,
Yeah.
in the setup, what has gone wrong? Who are the people that are involved?
Okay.
What are the policy and procedures or controls of the company
Okay.
that were violated that gave room to the sources of the fraud?
Okay.
Okay, it will also involve interviewing the people that are suspected,
Okay.
issuing them query and obtain their responses. Of course, your service at that level is to your organization. The people that are constitutionally empowered to investigate fraud is the police. So what we do ultimately is to report that action, that breach,
Yeah.
to the police. Okay? But prior reporting that to the police, you would have carried out preliminary investigation
Okay.
at the company level, at the organization level. But because you won't be able to approach the court without the instrumentality of the state,
Okay.
so you still need to take that matter to the police and for proper investigation.
Okay.
Of course, in the course of the police investigation, they'll be requiring information from you. You'll be providing information, lead information that could help the police,
Yeah.
to dig deeper.
Okay, now before I let's set this now. For fraud investigation,
Yeah.
I want to know, is it embraced in Nigeria? Like, do we have fraud investigators that specifically deal with fraud investigation in Nigeria?
Like I said,
Yeah.
that's the police are the body that are
So they are the fraud investigators.
Hold on.
Okay.
They are the body that are constitutionally empowered
Okay.
to carry out fraud. But of course, in this company, if fraud occurs, the police will not be coming here to carry out the preliminary investigation for you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
There are two reasons why you approach the police. Number one, for the purpose of litigation,
Yeah.
because eventually they are the people to take the matter to the court. And two, for the purpose of insurance claim. Okay, if you have fidelity insurance,
Okay.
whereby the actions of staff have been, insured against fraud, okay, the insurance company will not indemnify you until a police report is obtained stating
Okay.
that if fraud has occurred, this is the amount and these are the people involved. So there are basically two reasons why you approach the police. Number one, they are the people constitutionally empowered
Okay.
to investigate fraud. Okay? And in the event that you want to pursue prosecution, you need the police. You also need them for the purpose of insurance claim, right?
Okay.
Now, eternally, if I say a fraud investigator in an organization,
Yes.
it means that when that fraud occurs, I will be the first point of call. Will be called in.
Yes.
Maybe basically internal audit people, right? Internal audit people will be called in to unravel the fraud. The police, it will be quite almost impossible for the police to come in and do that job for the organization. No, nobody does that
Yeah,
to
of
bring in
course.
the police. At the level you are even inviting the police, you have done 80% of the job.
Okay, now let me explain the question.
Yeah.
You know, now I want to find out because I know we have the EFCC.
Yeah.
They deal with crimes and
Yeah,
fraud cases
yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
And obviously, I know yes, we have the police. You
Yeah.
know, but they're not the ones that come in first. The investigators are also first to their job. We have the undercover journalists that also try to unravel certain cases.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm talking about private investigators, people that actually go to school to
Yeah.
become, or take courses to become fraud investigators, So I want to know if we have more of such people in Nigeria. That was the question.
Yeah,
Like, do we actually have more of them in Nigeria? I know you are a fraud investigator, so
there
are there
is-
more of you in Nigeria?
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
There is no any university in Nigeria where fraud investigation is studied as a course. No,
Okay.
no.
Of course.
In the course of your career, you can specialize on fraud investigation.
Okay.
Most time accountants or IT experts, okay, they can go into fraud investigation.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there are professional exams you might take sometimes,
Yeah.
or courses you can attend. Like, for example, we have the CFE, which is an international body. That's CFE is in America.
America.
Okay, they are fraud experts. Okay, they are professional body.
Yeah.
You can go to, there are universities abroad where you do forensic accounting at master degree level, even at first degree level.
Okay.
Okay, if you have BSc accounting, you can write professional exam that
Will make you become a
makes you to become
A fraud
fraud
investigator.
investigator or a fraud expert.
That's very good. Now, thank you for answering the question that I was about to ask, which means that, I was about to ask you how you become a fraud investigator, and you've already explained that
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Now, let's go into, there was something we were talking about before we came on air, and I was talking about how, fraud is everywhere. There are different types of fraud, and I want to know if I was asking you if you specify, you're a fraud investigator, but are you a internet fraud investigator? Are you a private fraud investigator? Maybe private companies and all, maybe when it comes to accounting and all those checks and balances, and all those things.
Yeah.
So, or as a fraud investigator, you can solve all fraud cases.
No, I cannot solve all fraud cases.
Okay.
If they are internet fraud, definitely I'm not an IT expert.
Okay.
Okay, I will need the collaboration of an IT expert, okay, to go into the system, okay,
Yeah.
and be able to bring out some information I require. Okay, so in fraud, in unraveling fraud, you might need you need collaboration,
Okay.
okay, between the fraud investigator and an IT expert. But it's also not impossible that a fraud investigator also has capacity, to delve into the IT world.
Okay.
But as a matter of fact, that is seriously being encouraged. That modern fraud investigator should be IT people, should have high level of IT ability, to go into database, to spool out information,
Yeah.
to get information that are needed in the database of the organization where the fraud occur. Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, the level of your ability to go into the system depends on the access that is given to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
A fraud investigator, it doesn't mean that you can solve all fraud cases.
Definitely. No.
Okay, now let's find out, because there's so many fraud cases coming up lately, actually even on social media. Like, when I heard of the latest fraud case, I was like, okay, really? But then why is it that we have so many cases, irrespective of the fact that we have people that investigate these crimes, and then they keep resurfacing yet and yet again? What is the punishment, and what provision does the law have for those that are caught or are fraudsters, basically? What has the law provided for them as punishment?
The questions are two now.
Yeah.
Why do we have too much of fraud around?
Exactly.
That's basically a systemic issue. Loss of moral in our society. Everybody want to get rich quickly. That's accounted for it, and it's all over the world. Everywhere you go, you see fraud. Most time we think it's only the police in Nigeria,
Yeah.
but of course, it's not only the police. But because those are the people we see one-on-one
Yeah.
on the highway, So we think that the only people that are fraudulent. No, it's a systemic issue. And of course, there are laws, there are penalties for fraud committed.
Okay.
Now, in any organization, there are sets of controls, there are do's and don'ts. For example, if you come late, you'll be sanctioned.
Of course.
If the second time, you might be given a warning. The third time, they might say suspension for 1 week without pay. Okay, that's penalty. Okay, so the same thing for fraud. In an organization, there might be rules that if you commit fraud, you'll be handed over to the police.
Yeah.
But of course, people still circumvent all these, policies to commit fraud, not minding the consequences. For example, somebody who carry cocaine to Malaysia, he know that there is death penalty.
Yeah.
But of course,
You still
damn
try
the
his
consequences, and still go ahead. If he's caught, he goes for it. If he's not caught, he's lucky. So it is not absence of, penalties
or
for fraud, that causes, that makes fraud to be on the rise. It's not absence of, consequences or penalty of it, no. It's just people have decided that
Yeah.
I want to get rich quickly, and the fastest way is to cut corner.
Okay. So you're talking about, let's now go into the provision that the law has for the punishments. Do you think that, wait, let me put it this way. Do you think that I know you said it's not because of absence of punishment and all, but should we say that if the law, there's a more strict penalty or punishment, like to reduce the rate at which we have fraud cases? So should we increase the punishment for these people so that we can have lesser fraud cases? Because now we're staying in the image of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In some countries of the world,
Okay.
we know that the penalty for fraud, corruption is maximum punishment. Takes your life away.
Yeah.
Like really like Malaysia. Indonesia, and all those countries. But of course, you also know that the Western world are even saying today that maximum penalty, death, is no longer popular in the Western world. We are looking at, give him life imprisonment
Okay.
rather than, sentencing him to death by hanging or by firing squad. So why in our part of the world here, one of the reasons why you see much level of corruption is because our judicial system here, the judicial system is not helping matter. Number one, if you go to the court, it can take the next 15, 20 years. A former governor that was jailed recently, the case has been on for 12 years. So I know that even if I'm caught, I can still be roaming around the street for the next 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
The penalty doesn't come immediately. And as a matter of fact, at the end of the day, I may not even be sentenced because of the level of corruption. Sometimes the judicial personnel are bought over. Sometimes the police can even be corrupted. For example, if you have a murder and the police is transferred from Lagos to Port Harcourt, okay, is the investigation police officer coming to the court for prosecution.
Yeah.
And the man is transferred to Port Harcourt. He tells you, for each time I'm coming, you pay my flight, and you put me in hotel, lodging accommodation, and other logistics.
Okay.
By the time you give him 200,000 for every visit, maybe after 2 or the third attempt, you say you are fed up, and the matter is strike out.
Wow.
So our judicial system, the level of corruption, and because it's an endemic issue here now, it's very, very, very difficult to punish offenders.
Okay, let's look at the investigation process as a fraud investigator. What are the things you look out for? What is the first thing that ticks you off when you start a fraud case you're investigating?
Usually, for a fraud to occur, there must be a breach of a process,
or
a
contract,
breach of a policy.
Okay.
So what you look out for basically is the breach. The breach. If you do a follow-through, we call it follow-through, a process, if a process has like 10, an action has 10 processes,
Okay.
you look at those processes, follow it through. For example, who typed the letter? The secretary. Who are the people that are supposed to sign? A manager and a general manager. Who sign? We say a manager sign and a secretary. That's already a breach.
A breach,
So,
yes.
fraud can be very interesting. Fraud investigation can be very interesting. If you follow through the process,
Yeah.
you will be if you are very careful, you will see that very point where the fraud took place. It will there will usually be a breach of a process,
Okay.
and because there was a breach, every other thing will fail.
Fail. Okay. So,
So,
when you still want to say
continue,
something?
continue.
Okay. So when you finally crack open or solve a fraud case,
Yeah.
the properties, or should I say the money, if it has to do with money, that you recover from these perpetrators of evil acts, you know, where does it go to?
That is, if at all you make any recovery.
Exactly. So where does it go to?
So it's not in all cases you make recovery. You must
Okay.
establish that.
Okay.
But if you make recovery, the money goes to the original owner. Original owner, of course.
What if in cases when the original owner is probably no more?
There will be, next of kin of the original owner.
Okay, so how
Or
does
the
it get back?
estate, or the estate of the original owner.
Okay.
So the money returned to the estate of the original owner.
So
and we
how
have
is it through legal proceedings or?
depending who the original owner are.
Okay.
If it's a company, you return to the company. If it's an individual, but of course you know that somebody reported the case of fraud. All right? Either the original owner or the beneficiary or the estate of the original owner. Somebody reported a case fraud. So the money return, if there's any recovery, you return to the
owner.
the owner.
Okay, so there's something I was saying in passing.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's on a lighter note, but it's a very serious thing.
Okay.
Because I've seen cases where fraud investigators also engage in fraud. You know, and you were telling me something about how, as a fraud investigator, you also have people that are checking you also. Please explain that. Or there's a case you outlined for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to say that fraud investigator are expected to be above board.
Okay.
Are supposed to be people of conscience, people of independent mind, people that will not, trade off their conscience for the gain of, perishable thing. Now, I was saying that where a fraud investigator loses his or her conscience,
Yeah.
he can compromise.
Yeah.
He can compromise. If I'm calling into a company to come and investigate fraud, of course, because of the society we find ourselves, people can approach me, either by messages, by call, sending my friends that please help us, assist us. If you let me go, this is your reward.
Yeah.
Okay? So you must be people of independent mind. You must not be easily bought over.
Someone of integrity.
Person of integrity,
Yeah.
high integrity, because what they present on table for you sometimes are things you cannot, offers you may not want to turn down. For example, I mentioned that there was a time in this country when there was a probe by the National Assembly,
Okay.
the Federal House of Representatives then. They were probing the power project under one of the past presidents. And while they were making the investigation, there was a paper headlines during the period that the power probe panel is under probe. Because themselves,
Interesting.
they compromised, some members of
Okay.
the panel compromised,
Compromised.
that they have to set up another panel
Panel.
to investigate the
Them.
probing panel.
Okay. Okay. So as a fraud investigator, you have to be a person of integrity.
High integrity.
Yes, and ensure
high
that you do not
integrity.
compromise your integrity at any cost. Because for one, I feel like as a person of integrity,
Yeah.
nothing should be able to buy you over.
Exactly.
You know, you should be content with what you have and be able
Exactly.
to follow through with what it is that you are meant to do.